when we do what we will, what we think we desire with technology, we are, as it were, blowing up our image of ourselves to enormous proportions. And many of us are beginning to realize that we don't like it. We feel that our skin, at the very least, is a boundary between a palpitating, sensitive consciousness that's terrified of what's outside the skin and terrified of a good deal that's inside it, and would like to know, is there some other mode of consciousness which one can be in, which is not this alienated mode? Because we feel, I think many of us, very, very strongly, that if there is such a place, we would like to be there.
For most people in the normal state of consciousness, people have been conditioned to overlook the most important thing, the present moment. There never has been anything else. Everything happened in the present moment, and when you remember it, it's the present moment. And when you think about the future, which of course never arrives as the future, it can only arrive as the present moment. Your entire life consists of the now. It can only unfold in the now, which is now. Any emotion you feel, anything you think, anything that happens, any experience, it's all inseparable from the now. But the now to most people is an abstract thing and not interesting enough. So let's see what that means and let's make it into meditation. So let's call this the journey into the now.
So the question is, how do you, in the midst of all this, are you working on, and I would say, I wished I had done more work at the time on centering and taking it in.
It's the meditation, it's the spiritual kind of connection that you have to be able to ground yourself and center yourself, that you're protected moving in these spaces that are constantly taking things from you, your energy, just that's draining throughout your life.
You said meditation, so does that mean you like actually
That has meditation has a lot of baggage to it. I think there's a lot of stereotypical, you're sitting there, legs crossed, incense burning, but you are setting a scene and creating an environment for energy to come to you.
Yeah.
And for you to kind of center yourself. So you are, taking deep breaths. You are holding thoughts of what you want to happen. You are sending your energy out into the universe to take care of whatever needs to be taken care of. So when you physically walk into that space, it's already done.
Yeah.
Jobs took a leave from Atari and spent 7 months wandering across India looking for spiritual enlightenment, and it turned out not to be a waste of time.
And when he comes back, he says, the main thing I've learned is intuition, that the people in India are not just pure rational thinkers, that the great spiritual ones also have an intuition. Likewise, the simplicity of Zen Buddhism really informed his design sense, that notion that simplicity is the ultimate sophistication.
When he returned from his trek, Jobs and Wozniak started building and peddling a primitive computer for hobbyists. With a $1,300 investment, they founded Apple Computer in his parents' garage.
Dear friends of the David Lynch Foundation, dear friends of mine, and great human beings, and they practice transcendental meditation. Ray for over 40 years, and Marty since 2008.
Yes, every day, twice a day, as much as I can twice a day.
I started in 1968 or 69, and it changed my life because like I was a very ordinary or subordinary student, and it brought me a clarity, and made me independent, made me free-flowing, it just gave me lots of gifts. The thing to convey is also how it compounds so that it keeps getting better. Whatever amount that you're meditating, next year will be better, and the year after that will be better. So I meditate 20 minutes a day, except if I've got a busy day, then I meditate 40 minutes.
So experience it yourself. How much convincing do you need?
Andy is really the living proof that technology can be a force for good in the world. Headspace has now been clinically proven to reduce stress by a third. 45 million people have downloaded Headspace, half of them men. Can you describe exactly how mindfulness reduces stress?
Yeah. So look, I think the most important thing for me isn't for any scientist or for any teacher or anyone to say kind of why somebody should do mindfulness. This is for each individual to find out how it's relevant to them. So we do know from science that it can help to reduce stress, that it helps to reduce anxiety, that it helps to reduce depression, that it helps to reduce aggression, and that it helps to improve compassion, that it helps to improve focus, and it helps to improve productivity. So we know those things.
Yeah.
We also know that it kind of helps people sleep a little bit better. We also know that it helps people in their relationships. So it's way more strong, way more resilient if you can have a vulnerability which allows any and every thought into the mind. Kind of be comfortable resting in uncertainty, in that vulnerability. For me, that's real resilience. So not being free from fear, not being free from anxiety, that's part of being a human being, but understanding it, being comfortable with it, making friends with it, and then you're able to kind of work with it in a more positive way.
And it's all the same old story. And I think we need to go beyond this and develop a certain maturity towards the practice of meditation. But it's very difficult to make people who have been brought up in that system see the point. Because they say, well, we got it this way, and that's the way you have to go in order to get it. I'm merely suggesting that for the sake of an experiment, you temporarily suspend it. And view what is as if you didn't even know how to talk. Red is not red, blue is not blue. Hard is not hard, soft is not soft. Male is not male, female is not female. There is just this jazz.